This is our 2.0 shelf. Now, if you guys are brand new to the channel, I have a big dream where I really want to start my own produce business, which is going to be called Go Forth Produce. I really want to start this business in the next 2 years, meaning it gives me about a year before construction to really learn about maybe working with a different setup. So behind me, this is what I've had for over a year. We've really learned a great number of things running this, but especially the last few months, I've been really concentrating on a few plants, mostly herbs, lettuce, few vegetables, but for the most part, strawberries. Now, behind me, we're working with a ton of bare root seascape strawberries right now, and we're kind of doing a test. Half of them are in the other room. We've actually planted them 2 different times. One, the big one, was about a month ago by now, and then the other one was about 2 weeks ago. So they are about 2 weeks apart, meaning they're going to be some really good ones and some ones that don't look as good because those are brand new. So we're kind of doing a test right now to see which kind of light works the best. If you look behind me, these lights are pink, whitish pink, and then those ones in there are extremely dark pink. But for the most part, we're going to be doing a lot of testing today, and I really want to talk to you guys a little bit more about the real reason why I am starting testing this early. So before we do go and start today's video, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you not miss our video, and please like this video. Let's go and start today's video. So, kind of what I was saying in the intro, this setup has been absolutely phenomenal. But if I really want to start a business, I have to make the most out of this room, meaning I'm going to have to go a little bit higher, and I'm going to have to add quite a few more shelves. So this room will be completely, for the most part, remodeled. Everything, all the bins, all the boxes, a lot of the stuff that we don't need in here will be moved out, possibly thrown away or just moved to a different spot. And I'd be able to just expand the setup by 3 times. So, I've also seen a lot of comments on this channel of people asking, why on earth do you have a setup this big when you're just testing? Isn't that a huge loss? Yes and no. At the end of the day, I am losing money, but at the end of the day, I'm still learning way more than the money I'm losing, because at the end of the day, this setup is absolutely remarkable. Everything I really learned is just absolutely insane. This video would probably be maybe 20 hours long if I did a very detailed video on every single thing I have learned from this, and to be honest, that video would probably be way longer if I just kind of speeded through it. So, this setup is absolutely amazing, but some of the things I had to do to kind of make this bigger setup work is, number 1, I have to get bigger shelves. Number 2, even though we do have giant fans over, they're mainly getting the bottom 2, and it's very difficult to get the very top shelf, which is the 3rd shelf. So I have to kind of work on maybe some different types of ventilation. Then one of the biggest things is grow lights. Now, if you guys are into kind of the vertical farm or just growing indoors, you have to have grow lights. And same with greenhouses. Some greenhouses do have grow lights in those climates that the sun does go down a little bit earlier than what the plants need. But some of the grow lights just haven't had time to fully go down in price or get even more efficient. These ones are very nice grow lights, but I'm thinking with this new setup, I can move around the grow lights, still use them, but I might just use them on the aquaponics shelf system there. But for the most part, I'm trying to look over a ton of new companies on different lights I could possibly work with. And that's where I stumbled over Barrina. This one is really cool. Just to be honest, I've already built the grow lights, and that's the pink lights. So these are a little bit more efficient, actually a lot more efficient. That's what I've heard. They are slightly more expensive, so that's not the best thing at the end of the day, but it still works. But most importantly, and what's interesting is, these ones are 25 watts each to run, while the other ones are 24 watts to run. Now, at the end of the day, that is basically nothing, but it's something. Going in here, so first of all, check out the strawberries right there. And let's walk in here and check out the strawberries in here. Now keep this in mind, all of these strawberries started growing at the very same time. And there goes the bucket, but for the most part, these have been growing very well. I did end up kind of taking the best out of each area. So like the most with the most leaves, same with the other room. And to be honest, they're basically the same, but at the end of the day, it is still very hard to compare one with another one because they're just so different. So if you look through here, there's so many amazing stuff, and what's actually so insane is they've actually tried to bloom already. I did talk about this in one of my latest videos. I'm not seeing many right now, or any at all. There is one starting because that's just that. So all I'm going to do is try to take that off. All I had to do is kind of use my fingernail there, and then boom, it is off. That is a leaf about to grow, but for the most part, these are doing very, very successful in here. You can notice I have really realized that these grow lights are a lot more high quality. I do feel like the metal on the sides a lot higher quality. They don't get as hot as the other ones. Now the other ones get warm, but these get, well, I'd say they both get warm at the end of the day, but they don't get as hot as the ones in the other room. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's just a slight, small difference. But I have noticed the cords on this are a little bit better, actually strongly better. They're designed more to be well designed, more high quality. And I have noticed that the wires connecting each one are a lot more high quality, and those little racks holding them up to the shelf are way, way better than the other ones I do have. Now, I'm not hating on the company that I am working with, but I will say, after I've really worked with a lot of these grow lights with the other company, I had noticed some flaws that I don't really like. So it is really nice to work with another company. Now, basically everything I said about these grow lights sounds like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. But the problem is, I do feel like these ones almost hurt a little bit more to look at. I will say, after I've worked with these for about 2 weeks now, I have gotten used to the light, so it is a lot easier to check out the plants. But I will say, it is very, very hard to tell what the real color is because the light is pink. So it lights the plant up in pink. It's basically bringing like blue LED and shining it on the wall. You can't tell what the original color is because it's blue. So there's kind of the downside about it, but for the most part, it is really, really good. And what I was saying earlier is I'm working on ventilation. So I have fans right here. These two are running. I do have a bottom shelf, but I'm saving that for some other plants I'm going to be working with later on too, to see which one's going to be a little bit better. But for the most part, these are doing very successful, and I'm very, very, very excited to really work with these a lot more. To me, it looks like these need to be watered really bad also, so I guess the picture that just fell a second ago, I'm going to have to fill that up with water and water everything else. But for the most part, this is going to be done in the video. Before I do go ahead and end the video, let's go in here and let me talk about this a little bit more. Now, with these grow lights, even though they're good, well, they're great. I will say at the end of the day, they're a little bit cheaper. I do feel like they're a little less quality because I think the company made them a little bit longer ago than the other ones, because the other ones in there are a newer design. Also, I kind of feel like these leaves in a way are slightly lighter green, and the ones in the other room are darker. They're almost like this type of a shade. So maybe that could just depend on a lot of things, from water, nutrients, ventilation, all sorts of stuff factoring into that, not just the light. So the predictions aren't going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, we'll just see how stuff does. And I will say, these do look like they need to be watered a little bit, but what's interesting is they have not dried up that well, so I might have to grab a fan and install one there, and making sure these do not rot away. So there's that. There's going to be a lot of testing to still go through for the next few months, learning everything about strawberries, and I still have no clue if I can be able to produce a ton of strawberries in here. For all we know, they could bloom and then the plant just dies out. I will say that again, strawberry plants need about a year in the beginning to grow out the root structure and their leaves. Once it does start producing flowers, all that energy coming from the soil, the water, the lighting, being soaked in from the leaves is going 100% towards the fruit, meaning the strawberry and the flower. So just keep that in mind. If you think your plant isn't ready, then don't let it bloom. Notice the one in the other room was trying to bloom, and I ended up taking that leaf off, or taking that flower off, just so that plant does not go under any more stress. And yeah, so for the most part, let's go outside very, very quickly, and then that'll be the end of the video after I'm done with that. Now, what's interesting is I've been quite obsessed with strawberries for about a year, but not as bad as right now. So just seriously, like lately, there's been a lot of amazing stuff that has really just happened from growth. Actually, I'm looking around and it looks like an animal tried to get some basil, so great. But for the most part, we'll just have to fix that later and just talk about it in the informational plant tour. But these are my strawberry plants. These one I planted last year, and they're doing so incredible. Very, very excited to really cover those a lot more once they do start to produce strawberries. For the most part, I'm not seeing anything that's really completely formed into a strawberry completely yet, but you can kind of look at this and see how they're looking. They are blooming even more, so just check out how many blooms. This one just started to grow about a few days ago, so that's amazing. So if you guys have the opportunity to grow some of those plants, I really do recommend it. They're not super expensive too. You can get a huge pack of them for like I think you can get maybe 20 of them for $20, $1 each. Seems a little bit expensive, but once you actually think about it and do the math, strawberries and just all of the math from like the grocery store and being able to produce your own produce, you could actually make your money up in the first season. So that's always something I really love about gardening. But for the most part, this will be the end of the video. That is something I'm definitely going to be talking about in the next video. So before we do go ahead and end the video, please subscribe. Also, I would love it if you would hit the bell notification on all so you not miss every video, and please like this video. I really do want to thank you all so incredibly much for watching today's video. And if you guys learned anything new in today's video, please comment down what you learned today. I'd really love to know. And yeah, I really do want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart from really supporting the channel and watching today's video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow when we post next. Peace.